Andy, welcome back to RaithTV. It's the end of one chapter, but I get a sense it's very, very much the beginning of another. Let's look at the season that's just gone first, and where do we start?
Good question. There was a lot of things happened. When you're on that hamster's wheel and everything's going along every day and week by week, you probably don't take it all in. I think there's a moment to kind of reflect when we get to this stage of the year. Crazy season for many reasons, but it was special. It really was. There was lots of moments to cherish, lots of magic moments that I think in years to come we'll again look back on them and really we're fortunate to have experienced them really, and I hope everyone sort of feels that same sentiment. It's a special season, but the challenge is now to replicate that again next year and the year after and so on.
Of course. We did say at our first kind of great moments of the season that we were going to grab every one of these moments, and if it brings comments to our detriment outside the Starts Park environment, bring it on, because I could think of no duller season than had we not grabbed the moments of joy that came our way.
Absolutely. I keep saying it, we're supposed to enjoy this. This is supposed to be enjoyable for us, and we had some fun, didn't we?
We absolutely did.
But we've got to keep that going. You know, it's not a one season wonder. It's the hardest part. Consistency is hard, but it's our job to make sure that continues.
Second album syndrome, we're going to have to do it all again, but bigger and better.
Absolutely. Bigger, better, stronger has already begun. The work started some months ago. There's always that little bit of waiting and seeing. There's a plan A, a plan B, depending on what division we're in. But the majority of the groundwork has been done long before, so it's now the next few days. There'll be lots of exciting news to come that I'm sure fans will appreciate. So it's been a long time in the making, but we're nearly there, and it's bigger, better, stronger.
Well, we've got a bit of time together, so I'm going to try and tease some of that out of you. But the headline sentiments that went via email to supporters, but also in the kind of club statement that went out, doubled our season ticket sales, doubled our average attendance, sold out Starts Park for the first time 27 years, and our largest home support in 29 years. It's record-breaking stuff on the park and indeed off the park, with retail sales, kiosk, hospitalities, commercial, and it goes on and on and on. Is it a season that's absolutely blown away even your wildest expectations?
Yes, probably. You know, you try and create something that people can get behind. You try and create something that people can be proud of. Boy, have they done that. It's been really inspiring. As I say it many times, it fuels us. It motivates you to keep going and do more. But it has been overwhelming, just the support that we've received. Even today, I popped down to the local supermarket to grab a bit of lunch, and a gentleman and his son stopped me and just exactly said that these little moments, these are the things that really mean a lot. And you know, it is emotional at times. It does kind of hit you because it means so much to you. It's why we do what we do every day.
You and I were messaging each other back maybe kind of Sunday night, Monday, and the word between our kind of chain of messages that stood out for both of us was pride. That, I think, it seems to be the kind of key ingredient that's been missing for this town and this team for quite some time. Yeah,
I would agree with that. You know, obviously, sort of looking in from the outside, you know, the talks were ongoing last year, but we've seen a lot of Raith Rovers. We were here a lot. I think it's fair to say that a bit of that pride was lost. We hopefully have gone some way to restore that, but we're only just getting started. We need to keep going with that. We need to give more. We need to create more moments that people can be proud of and keep building that pride. Sunday was a very disappointing day, but it was also a very proud day. To sit in that main stand and look across and see the reaction that the players got at the end of the game, it was a real moment to be proud of.
It was a really strange kind of moment in that, you know, we were in the main stand commentating and producing the game for the club TV, so we were, you know, disassociated by distance, but actually I felt that I had the best seat in the house. Yep. Was that similar? Because there was, you know, there was a chorus of "We Love You Rovers" that kind of swept round like a Mexican wave, and I've not seen any camera or social media that's managed to capture how powerful that was. No. I've seen the Sky Guy running from celebrating Ross County fans at 4-0 to film our fans.
Yeah. No, you're right. It was a great vantage point we had. I think I said the same the first game up at Tannadice in December, it was exactly the same sort of scenario there. It gave us a great vantage point just to take it all in. You're obviously caught up in the game, but there was wee moments within it that, you know, you did sort of take your breath away. We all sort of commented to that, all the directors. It was real poignant moments, and you know, it was great. My wife and kids and family were there, and they all said just how the energy that was within people, the friendliness, the togetherness that was among, you know, people she'd never met before, and it was great. It's who we are as a club. It's what we want to continue to build.
But we want more. Let's start talking about how that's going to get here. Let's do some of the practical stuff, and then we'll come back to the kind of football and aspects which people will be forward fastened and getting to, because we won't know who we sign and when they sign and what's contracts, all of this stuff. Let's talk about infrastructure. Is there going to be more progress across the summer? The big topics that come up are things like safe standing, railway stand, use of the enclosure. Any big infrastructure projects over the summer? Yeah,
work starts again on Monday. So finally we're in a position to move forward with the external cladding of the main stand. It's been a long drawn out affair, but we're there now. So that starts Monday the 3rd. And also there's some work in the undercroft of the main stand, so office space for football staff, which we're sorely missing at the moment, and the laundry's been moved in preparation for the new hospitality lounge. Now that'll come further down the line, but in that infinite window that we have, we're going to move forward with that so that it gets us to that point of the new hospitality lounge. So yeah, lots happening, extended boardroom, lots going on, and again we'll be hammer and tong to get it all ready for the players coming back in the not too distant future.
Always trying to bite off a wee bit more than we can chew, but bigger projects, as we say, enclosure, railway stand. Yeah. Watch the space there for a bit further down the road.
Absolutely, yeah. As I keep saying, there's a list, and it's a long list, but they're certainly on that list, and we're working all the time to try and come up with, you know, funding opportunities, things like that enable us to do this work. There's been a spanner in the works in terms of artificial pitches, which will come not too distant future, I'm sure. The news will break. So yeah, we have to be mindful of this. We'll never do anything that puts the club at risk, but yeah, it's certainly on the agenda.
Artificial surface, we kind of seen the consultation paper that's gone out, we've seen the work that you put in. I think possibly last time you were on camera, that was a bit of work that was just kind of kicking off with some clubs of a kind of like-minded outlook. Anything you want to add about that in terms of where we're at, or is it a case of, you know, we need to let due process take?
Yeah, I mean, it'll run its course. The Premier League clubs will vote on it probably this week or next, and that's where we are. We can't affect that. The purpose of the joint statement last week was really to let people know where it was. Too often these things get done behind a closed door, and you know, decisions that really affect clubs, fans, the people that really matter, don't really get consulted. So the purpose of that joint statement was to let people know exactly the work that had been done, and spark a bit of debate, spark a bit of conversation. It certainly has done that. You know, not all of it is in our favour, but that's fine, that's healthy. And I think it's shown that we were right to do what we did, and it remains to be seen if any of that will be heeded. But yes, it's something that's out with our control now.
Meantime, my mind drifts to an interview done with John Sim when he first became part of the setup here, and one of his very first lines was, Starts Park needs to be more than a place that's used once a fortnight, it needs to be at the heart of a community. And the kind of duality of this football surface versus community is that it's that provision out there that's actually at the heart of what the club's about.
It's the main factor. You know, you can talk about training facilities for the first team, you can talk about the cost of putting down a grass pitch, but the biggest factor here is the amount of kids that play out there even now as we speak. That you can hear the laughter and the fun that's been had out on that pitch. That's the most important part. That's the biggest factor for me in all these conversations. It's not right. We've made our point, and you know what happens from here on, and is it'll be what's to be will be.
Let's talk about the kind of strategy that the clubs take forward, because I guess alongside all the aspects of recruitment and regeneration of hospitality, etc., anyone who knows football, and particularly Scottish football, will see that Raith Rovers have attacked the last season from the top to the bottom with a completely different mindset. As you say, we'll laugh it off and we'll take it in the chin when we get our totties, which we've had to do a few times. Tell me about that from the inside. You know, what's it been like going into boardrooms, going to other clubs, liaising with you know, clubs wider afield in Scotland who maybe kind of take an interest in what we do. Social media grabs the headlines, but it's actually a value base that's changed here.
Yeah, absolutely, and what I would say, very complimentary. I think people looking on from the outside, other clubs have been very complimentary. They've been asking questions because they like what we're doing. Now, I understand the whole tribal nature of football, and fans will get you know, one-upmanship and all that. I get it, it's part and parcel, but that's again, it's a bit of fun. It's always done with total respect. We respect our opponents, however close or however far away they are. But it's healthy. It's good. It's good to be a bit different at times. Too often we get stuck in the "we've always done it this way" mantra. That's not us. That's not who we are, and we'll continue to be the way we are being. We're bold. We're brave. We're giving people something to get behind, and that will only continue.
Do you think we'll see other clubs getting on board with a different vantage point from their social media and fan engagement in the coming season and beyond?
I think we already have. I can see little points of wonder where they got that idea. Again, it's flattering. That's a good sign for us that people are taking note and looking at what we're doing. As I say, they're asking questions. Other club personnel will talk to us about it, and you know, it is. You can see it's already slowly dripping into other clubs. So bring it on.
Good time to be a cartoonist.
I would say so. Yes.
Supporter engagement, let's go into that, because it's gone way beyond social media. It's been at a level that, you know, us old warhorses just couldn't have dreamed about. We're a club who at the depths had 1,000, 1,200, and it's just doubled and trebled. I remember when you first kind of said in the passing, first target's 3,000 home crowd, and we'll have said it, but there's quite a few who went, aye, good luck with that one. And then they returned. And then they returned, and then we lost a couple of games, and they returned. Yeah. What do you put that down to?
I think they believe in what's happening. I think we've gained a bit of trust. I think people are proud to be Raith Rovers fans again. I keep saying it, but you can see that the numbers tell you that. You know, we put yellow t-shirts on sale, and there's queues all the way down the ramp for days on end. We couldn't keep up with the demand. These are all little signs that people are getting behind what we're doing here. Again, we have to continue that. We can't rest on our laurels. We have to make sure that the momentum is still there, and we will do. And as I said, there's lots of exciting news coming very, very soon that will continue that. So, yeah, it's great. We want to continue it. We're getting a lot of, you know, our own fans are buying into it, but we're also getting a lot of credit from, I think people are realising, you know, beyond what's happened on the pitch, beyond results, beyond finishing second, pushing Dundee United all the way, I think people are recognising that we've engaged our support again. Got a text message from Neil Doncaster this morning saying just that. You know, that's a bigger win than any results we've had on the pitch. So that's great. That's shown to the outside world. We know what's happening here, but it's great to get that recognition that, you know, people are seeing what we're all building, and include the fans in that. What we're all working and fighting to achieve here.
With great football comes great responsibility. It needs to continue. The schools need to continue to be that hotbed as the community foundation out there, because it's the generational aspect. We've seen in the messages of good luck to the team for Sunday's game and Thursday's game before it, that we're now looking at second, third, even fourth generations of families who are actively engaged. And it's not people you meet in the high street who say, oh, my granddad used to follow Raith Rovers. Yeah. It's now very much, oh, me and the kids are going in, you know, whatever game it is. So I'm assuming that the plans are fully in swing. That can we redouble that? Can we do more?
Absolutely. You know, season ticket sales are not too far away. All the work's been done on that. It was a case of sort of waiting and seeing what division we're going to be in, but that'll be ready to launch in the next few days. Can we get 3,000 season ticket holders? Again, it's a bold target, but I don't think we should shy away from making these bold targets. I think we're well capable. I think the engagement is there, and you know, let's see if we can go and hit that as a collective.
Talking the responsibility, something that we've got to own as supporters. There's the backing's been incredible. We spoke previously about the need to kind of work harder in getting the kind of singing section right, but some wee elements there that maybe need a wee bit of fine tuning as well. Broken seats that have been donated by the Jim McMillan Club. It's not a great look for effectively Rovers supporters disrespecting Rovers supporters?
Absolutely. No, listen, it's fair to say it's a work in progress. It's not been 100% positive. You know, I won't shy away from that. We need everyone to work together. We want each individual demographic to enjoy their time here, but there's got to be respect for those that are around them. And at times I think there's been a lapse in that. But we'll continue to work on it. We'll continue to engage, communicate, and you know, hopefully we can get to a place where everyone's happy and they can enhance the atmosphere and enhance the environment here.
Let's talk about football and operations. Budget always gets followed up by the word sustainability. We've had a season on and off the park that's exceeded expectations. How do you balance that in this moment in time where you're thinking, do we stick with the mantra, or is it worth twisting and seeing what we get?
No, we'll stick with the mantra. It's our responsibility to do that. We have a duty of care to this football club, that not to put it at any risk or any danger. The way I am as a person, I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if I was making decisions that I thought was doing that. So no, again, we'll be competitive. We'll be at the forefront. We'll be going challenging, and I think the news that comes out in the next few days will show that. But we'll do it with a measured approach and with a bit of thought behind it. It's going to be a competitive league next year. You can see that. It's there's probably 6-7 clubs that I think they've got a realistic chance of winning that league. That's fine. We welcome that, and we'll be one of them, and we'll plan and prepare accordingly.
As all good professionals in your position would do, you're teasing us every opportunity here. Where are we in terms of retaining the players we want, going out and looking at people who've impressed in the loan market, and indeed new faces?
Yeah, much of that work's been done, David. There's been lots of conversations been taking place. You know, again, you've got to temper that because we needed a bit of clarity, but lots of that work's been done. Even since Sunday, you know, it was straight back to work on Monday morning. There's been lots of conversations taking place. So yeah, over the next few days there'll be news to update on that, but we're well down the road in both, you know, re-signings and outgoings, which unfortunately is inevitable to be part of the game. It's part of the course now, so we'll get to that in the not too distant future, but there's lots of work being done and continues to be done.
That's one of those kind of moments of a line in the sand where we all kind of have an intake of breath because we've grown to care for these players so much, but the keep release list, is that imminently on its way?
Yes, we'll have that within the next few days, yeah.
And in terms of signings?
Yeah, there'll be a few within the next few days.
We're being very coy here. But
no, listen, it's important to us. Again, much of that work's been done for, you know, we've watched hundreds, we've looked at the data, we've sought opinion, we've got a good scouting team now in place. We've had hundreds of players watched in the last few weeks and months. It's a long drawn out process, recruitment. People maybe don't realise that, but it most certainly is at this level. So we're ready to go on 2 or 3, and the fans will get that news very, very shortly.
That scouting system's really interesting because I think back to probably about October time was the first time that John and Ian Murray were kind of talking about the list. They've got a list of people that they're actively looking at as potentials that early in the campaign, but that's seen it all its way through. It must be difficult when you've got this kind of duality of what division are we going to be in. Are we placed at any disadvantage with that position?
No, because I think the work that we've done, I think we've got the right personnel in the right positions that can alleviate that. We've got good people at this football club now, and lots of conversations I've been having. There's plan A, plan B, and yeah, I'm comfortable. People might look at it and go, you know, maybe a couple of weeks behind other clubs that season have finished, but I'm comfortable where we are. I know the manager's comfortable in where we are, so there's no issues from our point of view in terms of there. We're well ahead of the game.
Raith Rovers supporters could shame the FBI and how astute they are at reading body language. So I think you're giving off the right messages here. But it's encouraging to know that not only is work about to be done, but work has been done. Yeah,
it's continuous. You know, there's conversations that we're having last summer that I've got a nod to this summer. That's how long sometimes these processes take. So yeah, no, it's great. We're in a good place, and you know, we'll continue to work hard, and people will see the fruits of that labour very soon.
Retention will also become a kind of key focus for you as well, because actually it's been some years since we've had a squad of players that others may want to cherry pick and look at. So how do you deal with that dynamic?
We welcome it. It's a cost of success. If our players are playing well, they're going to attract attention. I don't think there's a club in Scotland that is not in the same boat. It's all relative to the level, but everyone's the same. So again, we won't try to discourage that. It means that we've benefited at some point along that line. So again, I think we've created an environment people want to be a part of, whether that's the people that are already in the building or people from the outside. So we'll continue to do what we're doing. We'll do it within reason. We have a budget, we have certain parameters that we can work to. Others might go beyond that, but sometimes it's not about money for players, and again, that's the right type of character that we want in this dressing room and in this building.
Beyond the first team, we always like to catch up and say, how's the journey going towards building that pathway from effectively the toddler who turns up to kick their first ball all the way to people who are aspiring to be Raith Rovers player. I'm aware that we've got a feature filmed and probably ready to go quite shortly, that a huge amount of work's been done in that kind of engagement. Yeah,
I think that pathway is the closest it's ever been. John Potter's done a lot of great work. He's ever present here of a midweek at night, not much to the dissatisfaction of his wife probably, but yeah, there's lots of work getting done. I think the connection's there, there's a communication there that's probably not been there in the past. Young JJ's in the position as general manager of the foundation. He's building lots of bridges as well in terms of that pathway, and yeah, it's a continuous work. A lot of our recruitment has been centred around that sort of youth pathway as well. Can we cherry pick at a younger age, and might not be ready for our first team here and now, but can we put them on a pathway that Callum Hanna's a great example of that. He's went out on loan, he's done great, he's a lot closer to our first team than he was 6 months ago, but what's his next stage of his development? There's other players like that we've been targeting, and again, hopefully the work that we've done on that area we can see the fruits of that again.
What about the women's team? We spoke previously at International Women's Days about the complexity about that journey, but it's one that you are firmly committed to. Any movement?
Yeah, credit to JJ. He's done a lot of great work. He's an infectious character. He's a people person, if you like, so he's been great for that. Not to decry the people that went before, but JJ's personality alludes to people like him, and he's been able to form communication and form conversations that are going to help us get to that point. Been lots of good work. The girls section is now under the community club banner. We're moving towards that pathway from the bottom up, and we continue to do that. There's still some work to be done, fair to say, but it's since the last time we spoke about, we're much closer than we were that day.
Great, let's talk about the bits that come across. Beyond signings and players staying and leaving, we always think about strips and season tickets. Talk to me about season tickets. When might we hear some news, any intimation of what that might look like for supporters out there?
Yeah, finishing touches are kind of being done within the next week. They'll be launched. Picking the right moment's important. We had to kind of wait and see. It's fair to say. I think everyone understands that. But yeah, we're ready to go. In terms of kit, the kit's been here for some weeks actually. We've done well. Simon's done well to keep it under cloak and dagger. So again, we've got events planned to launch that. Even as today, we're putting plans in place to what that looks like and things. So we have to go through the process. We're conscious of not releasing everything at the same time as well. We have to stagger that, but we're in a good place. There's no. I think last year was a bit chasing our tail at times with things, just because of the way the deal happened and coming in and trying to pick up the pieces from other people's work and things. So we're in a good place. We're ahead of the game, and we'll continue to just drip feed that good news in as we go along the next weeks and months.
The big question about the strip that comes at this time is a key one, and it's one of those jobs that I think someone in that office has got enormous responsibility on their shoulder, and I'm sure with your past experience are delighted to have you there, because it's worn around the supermarkets and when we're walking the dog, but we've all got an eye of the House of Gucci wanting to be just right. Any idea when it might be in sale? People like it for their holidays. We've never quite hit that mark yet.
Yeah, somewhere around about mid-June. Certainly before the end of June, we're hoping to get it out there on sale and people can buy it. School holidays, acutely aware, we try and time it. Every club does. Sometimes works like that, sometimes doesn't, but we're aware that people want want to pack it in their suitcase and get it away with them when they're going on their holidays. So we're working towards that, and I don't see any reason why we can't achieve that goal.
What's been the biggest learning for you across this year? Because there are times where you must have thought, I'm living the dream, and other times where you think, what am I doing?
Yeah, several times within the day, even today probably. No, listen, it's been great, and I know I keep saying it, people are probably bored, but when you see people get behind in what you're doing, you see the outpour of emotion on Sunday. It was sheer emotion. People that have been associated with this club long before any of us were around. It's incredible, and it does fuel you. That's what makes you. Monday morning we'd had a few beers Sunday night, but I couldn't wait to get up out of bed and get back to it. I had planned on sort of taking the day off. I think I got to about 11 o'clock, and the wife said, look, go and do what you need to do, because you're not going to switch off. So it's just that excitement. It's that thirst to get better, and we've got lots of people at this club that feel the same way and are just as motivated. So that would be the bits that I would say the good bits. Of course, I wouldn't sit here and lie. There's been times where it's tough. It is tough, and it will continue to be tough. But I think when you enjoy what you're doing, these tougher times become a lot easier.
Anything particular that you think we could do better?
I think we could be more positive. I think at times at the start of the season, I think that fans were a bit scared to be positive, maybe in the right way. I think, understandably, there's. I think all football fans, I think it's just a UK culture thing that we don't like to kind of get too far ahead of ourselves. But it's okay to enjoy the moments. We shouldn't fear falling short. We finished second. We pushed Dundee United. They won 2 more games than us across the whole season. Arguably one of the biggest teams in the country. We shouldn't fear coming up short. We should embrace that challenge and yeah, because it'll help us get to where we want to get to eventually, and we will have our day, and it's coming sooner rather than later, but we'll get there, and we'll get there together.
One of the other kind of topics people will expect me to raise, but it's not really the focus of this particular session today, is Club 1883. We'll have further discussions about the third strip, about the opportunities, about how well it's been taken up in the coming days, really, if not weeks. What have I not asked? What bit of communication do you feel you need to get out to Raith Rovers supporters? We try and cover all bases here at RaithTV, but I'm sure you arrive with a message from the heart that you want to get out onto the streets.
Yeah, back us. As I say, we keep speaking about season tickets. We need you to come and buy them. We need you guys to fuel what we're trying to do here. We can't do it without you. Your support this year is shown on the pitch. It's shown on the balance sheets. We need to continue that. We need to try and encourage more. Get your friend to come along. Those that are maybe come along for a couple of games this year, can we get them along for 20 games next year? That's the challenge. We'll continue to do what we're doing to encourage that, but we need everyone to get behind us and work with us on that, and we'll get there. We'll get there together.
Sounds great. Count us in.
Brilliant. Thank you.